Good day, students. Our topic for today is all about introduction to statistics. When we say statistics, it is concerned to science, which is developing, studying method for collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and presenting empirical data. So let's have a brief background about the founder of statistics, which is Sir William Petty. He born year 1623 and died year 1687. He was one of the first to develop human statistical and census method. He was from a humble family background, but by the age of 35, he was at the forefront of a progressive sciences. He broke his leg on board a ship while working as a cabin boy in his teens. After this setback, he applied to study in Caen where he supported himself by teaching English. Search on the internet to find out more about him and his contribution. So therefore, we're able to apply such perseverance in our lives. So according to a study, about 86% of Filipinos aged between 10 and 64 are functionally literate. Okay, when we say literate, it is a person that can read and write. Do you know how figure of 86 was obtained? Okay, so figures like 86% are obtained through a process of collection, organization, display, and interpretation of data in various ways. To summarize the four stages of statistical studies, so we have collection, the organization, the display, and the interpretation. These our study shows how statistics may be applied to daily life. The use of statistics is essential in areas such as climatology, economics, biology, and population census, as it allows us to gain insight into problems in the real world. Okay, and statistics also enables people to make informed decisions so that they are able to formulate plans wisely. Have you ever wondered how statistical data is collected, summarized, and presented? Okay, let's obtain a process of collection, organization, display, and interpretation of data using the four steps or four stages of statistical study, which is collection, organization, display, and interpretation. So we need to use graphs or statistical diagrams like pictogram, bar graph, pie chart, and line graph. So let's have a scenario like, for example, a school canteen vendor is asked to sell fruits to the students. The vendor would like to know which fruit the students like most. So the first step the vendor need to do is collection of data. The vendor conducts a survey in the school. A total of 500 students are surveyed. So, two levels in the school are selected as the sample group of the survey conducted by the school canteen vendor. So, each student can select only one fruit of his or her choice from apples, honeydews, pears, watermelons, and oranges. Okay, the second step the vendor need to do is organization of data. After collecting data from his sample group, which is the 500 students, the vendor organizes it in a table. So, we have the fruits, which is apples, honeydews, pears, watermelons, and oranges. Okay, the number of students from apples who chooses apples is 100. Then honeydews, we have 75 students. Pears, we have 50 students. Watermelons, we have 150 students. And Students who choose oranges is 125 students. Then the third step the vendor did is display of data using a pictogram. The first one is to use a pictogram or the actual drawing of the fruits. So like for example in here, wherein each figure represents 20 students. So in apples, we have 5 apples. So 5 multiplied by 20, we have 20 apples. Honey juice, so we have 75. And pears, we have 50. Okay, which is 20 plus 20 and 10. Then watermelon, we have 150. And oranges, we have 125. Okay, 1/4 of 20 is 5. Next, it also display a data or display of data using a bar graph. Okay, in here, so we have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, or 160. These numbers represents these students. Okay. Then, so we have apples, honey juice, pears, watermelon, oranges. As you can see in apples, it labeled to 100. So we have 100 students. And in honey juice, we have 60 and 80, which is 80 and 60, or represented by 75 students. Pears, we have between 40 and 60, which is 50 students. And watermelon, we have between 160 and 140, which is 150. Then oranges, we have 125. So this data collected is displayed using a bar graph. Next, let's try to display data using a pie chart. So before that, we need the table. Then the angle of sector. So we can graph or measure the degrees of the following fruits. So like for example, in apples, okay, we have 100 student who chooses apples, then over 500, the total number of students. So we have 100 divided by 500, multiply it by 360 since the whole circle or the one revolution is equal to 360. So 100 divided by 500, we have 0.2. Multiply it by 360. So in apples, we have 72 degrees. Okay, same process. So honey juice, we have 75 more divided by 500. Multiply it by 360, we have 54 degrees. Pears, so we have 50 divided by 500. Multiply it by 360, we have 36 degrees. In watermelons, we have 150 divided by 500, multiply it by 360, which is equal to 108 degrees. And oranges, we have 125 over 500, multiply it by 360, which is equal to 90 degrees. So since we're done finding the degrees, we can graph it now. Okay, let's use again the table to represent the fruits and the angle sector. So in apples, we have 72 degrees. In honey juice, we have 54 degrees. In pears, we have 36 degrees. Watermelon, we have 108 degrees. And in oranges, we have 90 degrees. So, oranges, okay, apples, honey juice, pears, and watermelon. To get the percentage, just divide it by 360, then multiply it by 100. So example, let's have the oranges, which is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees divided by 360 degrees. Okay, what is the answer? Very good. We have 0.25. Then, next, multiply it by 100. So, we have 0.25 multiply by 100 is equal to 25%. So in oranges, we have 25%. So in apples, we have 20%. In honeydews, we have 15%. In pears, we have 10%. And in watermelon, we have 30%. So next, let's try to display data using a line graph. Okay, use the table again, which is in apples. The student who chooses apples is 100. Honeydews, we have 75. Pears, we have 50. Watermelon, we have 150. And in oranges, we have 125. So, to the left side, these are the number of students. And we have the fruits to the horizontal line. So, in apples, we have 100. In honeydews, we have 80. In pears, we have 60. Or in honeydews, we have 75. Between 80 and 60. In pears, we have 50. In watermelon, we have 150. In oranges, we have 125. So, in this line, you can see that most of the student chooses watermelon. Then after that, we have the orange, then the apples, and juice, and the least, the pears. So let's have the fourth step. Okay, from the pictogram and the bar graph, in the pie chart and the line graph, it is clear that the most popular fruit among the selected group of students is the watermelon. And the least popular fruit is the pear. If the canteen vendor decided to sell 3 types of fruits to the students, which 3 should he choose? Okay? So like for example, you are the vendor. Then you need to decide which 3 types of fruits you need to sell to the student. Okay, very good. So, the vendor decided to sell watermelons, apples, and oranges. So, let's have this example. The pictogram shows the profits earned by the company in each year from 2008 to 2013. So, each bag represents 1 million pesos. So, let's have the first question. What was the profit earned by the company in 2011 and 2013? So, in 2011, we have here, as you can see, we have half sack, which is half of 1 million is 500,000 pesos. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and half. So, in 2011, we have 5,500,000 pesos. Then next, in 2013, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in 2013, we have 7 million pesos. Next question. In which year did the company earn the least profit? How much did the profit decrease that year as compared to the previous year? Okay, as you can see, using this pictogram, the least year or the year with least profit is 2010. Then the previous year is 2009. Okay? So how much did the profit decrease that year as compared to the previous year? It is 1,500,000 pesos. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Let's call it a day. Goodbye, students.